What is up, everyone? Welcome to this Tuesday stream where we have Bitcoin selling off. It's down 0.77%, so it has recovered quite some ground after the stock market closed. You saw some intense selling on some stocks today. Nvidia was down 7%. Also Amazon was down. Microsoft, they were not as down as Nvidia, but I guess that BTC caught that selling as well. It wasn't immune to the stock market today. We also have a FOMC meeting today. All of the market participants mostly are expecting for rate cuts to remain the same. So Mr. Jerome Powell shouldn't give any news tomorrow. At least that's what the market's expecting. And you have here Bitcoin rejecting a critical inflection point from the past. You can see here this double top from 2021. The daily candle close and the highest price action of the former cycle, of the previous all-time high here at around 69k and 67.5k. You're just getting somewhat of a rejection out of that level. Also with somewhat of a possible confirmation top here. I wouldn't be so worried if you just had one impulse, but now that you have this kind of double impulse, which is also a little bit higher, it's almost like an equal top, but you have bearish divergence on the RSI here, where you have a lower high on the RSI. So it's not the best that you want to see after this rally that you had from the beginning of the month. But it's not that it's over yet, but it's definitely makes me a little bit worried and just alert on what the price might do. But that's BTC working on your lowest daily candle close since July 25th. Also, I saw that there's an harmonic that's been identified here, a bearish shark. So that's not the best either. Yeah, you don't have a type 2 return to have a confirmation of the shark as of yet, but you do have this kind of double top structure that has not been confirmed here. So price has been catching follow through yesterday's bearish engulfing candle, and it'll be closed in about an hour and 30 minutes. So it's not the best. Hopefully it's just a similar price action that we have in any FOMC meeting week that we have had since the last 6 months. Basically, you just trend into the FOMC, and then on the FOMC you get somewhat of a reversal. So maybe you've been downtrending for the past 2 days, and tomorrow you catch another bottom, and you print a higher low on the chart, and you continue upwards and finally break out of this descending channel that we've been on for the past 140 days plus. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. As for now, I'm cautious given what we're doing up here against the resistance, and I'm pretty close to range highs out of this descending channel. In case you wanted to trade just this descending channel, this would be considered somewhat overbought, and on the bottom of the channel would be considered somewhat oversold. So just that's locally. So Bitcoin dominance having somewhat quite the buyback today. Look at this wick, chat. One point you were down significant, like around 0.5%, and now you're flat, creating somewhat of a bullish pin bar. So yeah, quite the performance on the three-day chart here on BTCD. We talked about this in bearish head and shoulders on the MACD histogram, that it actually played out, had a confirmation on July 20, and then followed through the the last 3-day candles here, and tomorrow this 3-day candle will be closing with a bearish engulfing candle as of now, and losing somewhat of a positive momentum, but this could just continue to grind upwards. We'll see if this was just the performance of the inverse head and shoulders, but the pattern actually got confirmed and actually played out. Not to the measured move as of now, but at least it had a confirmation and then follow through. So that's your Bitcoin dominance, pretty flat. I do want to talk about USDT dominance because this is a little bit worrying. Just like on BTC, this is the inverted chart. You're on the lower end of the ascending channel. On BTC, you're on the upper half. I mean, you're close to range highs on BTC's descending channel. So in this case, what gives me a little bit more fear in the market is the case that you had a significant bullish hammer yesterday with a bullish engulfing candle, and today you're confirming that engulfing was real and catching follow through, and you're getting back above the daily 200 moving average and somewhat starting to print this inverse head and shoulders pattern on the bottom here on the daily time frame. So that's not the best that you want to see on USDT dominance. You want to see a rejection out of the 200 daily moving average, and then consecutive price action to the downside, and not somewhat of this reversal pattern that has not been confirmed. You will need a daily candle close above the neckline here at around 5% in order for this pattern to be valid. But the structure overall is just I'm not a big fan of it. And if we take the measure move of this inverse head and shoulders, we go from the height of the neckline all the way down to the bottom of the neck, which is 5.8%, and you go from the neckline 5.8%. It throws USDT dominance at around 5.3%, really close to this mid-range of this ascending channel. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get a pullback. Also tomorrow, I think, tomorrow you'll get the monthly close. So we'll do a stream for the monthly close on BTC and several other assets. The monthly on BTC actually looks good. It's closing on the green as of now. It has somewhat of a bullish hammer structure. So the monthly looks pretty good. It doesn't look concerning. The more concerning kind of price action it's on a lower time frame. It's on the daily. So yeah. And Bitcoin against the SPX, you'll see here it had a rejection yesterday to the upper side of this descending channel, and you'll see how many times it's been rejected since it got formed. So once, twice, 3, 4, and 5th. This will be the 5th time that this descending channel is actually rejected. So hold on one second, chat. Okay, so that's not what you want to see either, but not all hope is lost on Bitcoin against the SPX XPX, because this could just turn into another lower high and continue upwards and finally get that breakout. We've been on inside of this descending channel for 140 days, chat. So that's a long time, almost going for 4 months inside of this this trading range. So that's pretty painful for market participants who've been trying to trade this asset, even on the USD pair or the SPX pair. You've been just swinging from it's so over to we're so back, like 3 or 4 times by now. So I'm guessing some market participants have been getting bored or exhausted and most likely leaving the space. And that's when maybe some of the magic happens, because when we were up here, everyone was calling for, I don't know, price discovery and for all-time highs on Ethereum. And when the trade got really crowded, that's when you had this boring price action, this sell-off, this time capitulation event is most likely what's been going on the crypto market. And then when you clear out of all of the people and all the hype is when the buyback occurs, and when you can continue to trend upwards. So Ethereum, it's somewhat showing a little bit more of strength against BTC here, because it's not having a bearish engulfing candle of yesterday's price action. So you're just chopping. You're down 1.2% on the daily. So Bitcoin is actually outperforming Ethereum today, but locally here the past 4 to 5 days, Ethereum has been having better price action than BTC. You're printing negative momentum on the MACD histogram, and you are at around the 47 point level on the RSI, so that's pretty neutral. And you're in between these two areas here, so you're just somewhere in La Land on Ethereum. So not much of an edge, to be honest. But yeah, I'll take it as long as you're above the daily 200 moving average. I think this could have a good price action. I want to take a look at ETH BTC, because it had, yeah, look at this, chat. It had quite the candle yesterday. So reversal here, potentially a higher low regarding the low from mid-May, and now today you're down 0.4%, 0.5% or so. And maybe this is just a consolidation candle before going for a test against the daily 200 moving average. I guess we'll see. I just don't like that much the shape of this candle here, because it could be somewhat of an inverted hammer, or somewhat of a reversal candle from this pump yesterday. But it's nice to see some unwinding on ETH BTC, especially after Grayscale was selling so much Ethereum on the spot ETF that it was probably bound to happen. I'm gonna fix my mic here. It was probably too loud. Okay, so that's ETH BTC. Pretty flat today. You were down at one point, so it got bought back today. You were down 2.47%, and now you're down just 0.44%. So there's some people absorbing the selling on ETH BTC for the past 2 days, 3 days. So that's pretty nice. So I'm just gonna talk about the Nasdaq real quick here. The Nasdaq put on the lowest daily candle close since June 4, and you're at the 35 level on the RSI, so you're in the bearish control zone, printing strong negative momentum on the MACD histogram. I don't know, and you had a bearish engulfing candle. It looks pretty similar to a three falling methods pattern, but it's not quite, but it looks similar, that's for sure. And if I'm gonna throw a fib tool here from lows to highs and see where we at. So you're currently falling below the 0.5 retracement, so a 50% retrace from lows to highs. That's what you're seeing now on the Nasdaq. Maybe you come down to the 0.618, to the golden zone, maybe into deeper value areas around the 786, but I think it's gonna depend on how dovish or hawkish Jerome it's tomorrow on his speech. So yeah, it's not the greatest price action that you want to see in order to have Bitcoin running. Although Bitcoin's been pushed more by the IWM lately, rather than the Nasdaq, in my opinion. So let's take a look at Solana. Solana's been quite the the risk on index for this cycle. And you can appreciate that yesterday had a bearish engulfing candle, and today you're catching follow through. You're down 1.7% on the day. And at one point on Solana, just a couple of hours ago, before the stock market closed, you were down 3.7% on the day. So it had some absorption of the selling just after the stock market closed. It looks a little bit double toppy here. It's not the greatest structure that you would want to see here, somewhere close near this inflection points. But I don't think all hope is lost. I think this is just trading following Bitcoin. So it's just going to depend on what Bitcoin does. It's still at the 60-point level on the RSI, so still at the bullish control zone. Above the 60-point level on the RSI, it's where buyers control the asset, and below 40-point, it's where sellers are usually in control. So maybe buyers are going to step in soon and propel this asset upwards. You're losing positive momentum in the MACD histogram, but yeah, I'm not a big fan on this structure, to be honest. But I'm not saying this is gonna nuke all the way to range lows. It's just that you had a massive bearish hammer yesterday with a bearish engulfing candle, and today you're confirming that engulfing was real. It just wasn't some weird price action, because you could have reverted today and just invalidated that whole candle. But you do have somewhat of a single candle pattern here at the top, confirming somewhat that a pullback might be coming for Solana. And also we're going to take a look at Sol BTC. So Sol BTC looks better than Sol USD in my opinion, because you didn't have that bearish engulfing candle that we had yesterday. But today you're actually having a bearish engulfing candle on its own. It will close in an hour and 15 minutes. So buyers still have time to step in and change the direction of this asset. But you do have this bearish divergence on the RSI, where you have two lower highs and you have higher highs here on price. So maybe there is some kind of buyer succession showing on the chart. The RSI is also holding on the 60-point level, so it's also on the buyer's control zone still. And where I think where it's actually the alpha for Solana, it's on the Sol ETH chart. Currently down 0.7%. And catching follow through out of yesterday's bearish engulfing candle also. I mean, it wasn't a bearish engulfing candle on its own, but somewhat of a reversal structure here. We talked about this tweezer top formation here on the weekend, and now yesterday you could have invalidated that whole pattern, but you were invalidating at some point, and then you had that sell-off, and you're just getting deeper on the pullback. Hold on a minute, Timo. I can't see the chat here. Just 1 second. We'll turn on the live chat here. I guess I wasn't paying attention. All right, Timo. Fat long underwater from 185 on Sol. I'm gonna get my computer closer here, so I don't have to look that further away. All right. Okay. I'll try to give you some hopium for for that Sol long. But in all honesty, I think you're going to get a pullback on Sol ETH. I don't know how deep it's gonna go, but yeah, you're losing positive Momo. You don't have any kind of divergence though, so that's good. Um, there isn't any exhaustion of the buyers implied on Sol ETH as of yet. You just have um, a structure, like a single candle structure here, that might be implying a pullback. But we're going to throw some fips here on Sol ETH. Let's see if we're at a retracement yet. So we haven't even hit the first retracement on the fib retracement tool, which is the 23% pullback from lows to highs. So maybe you come down to 23, the 0.236, and then usually if you get an immediate reaction at the first fib retracement level and you get somewhat of a buyback, then it implies that that this asset is super strong and that it has a lot of demand. So I can give you that kind of hopium. And if we go to Sol itself, ultimately, bro, in all honesty, it's just gonna depend on what BTC does. You know, this could turn into somewhat of a double top, but we're pretty far off by now. If you wanted a confirmation of this being somewhat of a double top, you would need a daily candle close below 165 bucks. Yeah, so below this wick. A double top gets confirmed when you get a daily candle close below the lowest price action of the two peaks. So it would be this wick. And in all honesty, I think it's just gonna depend on what BTC does. And I don't know if you were live for the beginning of the stream on where I talked about where I think BTC might be doing and what could be implied for the rest of the market. If you were not, I suggest that you watch it later again. You do a replay of the stream, and you'll see my thoughts on what BTC might be doing. So those are my honest thoughts on Sol. I think it's the risk on index for this market. If the market's gonna be risk on, I think Solana is gonna fly and it's gonna be the best performer of the market. But I couldn't tell you to cut your losses now or to keep holding because I don't know. I didn't go long here at 185. But I'm sure that you have somewhat of a stop loss that you thought of before, and that you're going to manage your risk. But I will tell you what I don't like here on USDT dominance. Also, besides this possible bearish head and shoulders, I don't like this wick that we had yesterday with that bullish hammer. This could be somewhat of a confirmation low regarding this low. So that's not my favorite price action on USDT dominance. Okay. So what else been important for the past month? Let's take a look at something. Okay, so Kaspa pretty decoupled today. It's up 1.3% on the day. Yesterday it had the highest daily candle close in its history, and today it's also having its highest daily candle close in its history. So that's pretty wild for the current market conditions. It's at the 68 point level on the RSI, coming really close to overbought. About 70 points you could be in the discussion for being overbought. Printing strong positive momentum on the MACD histogram, actually the highest momentum since July 2nd on Kaspa. And you don't have much resistance here. You just have all-time highs from June 30 at $2.01. So maybe you come here and take a stab at the range highs here again, and maybe you get somewhat of a resistance, but it'll be, at this point, if you touch the top of the channel, it'll be all-time highs for Caspa. So it's pretty decoupled, and showing incredible strength when you have the SPX, the Nasdaq, and BTC selling off. It's just pretty spectacular to see. TON is also up 1.8% on a day. What else? BNB, it's up 1.2% on a day. Pretty flat for the past 2 weeks since July 16. So I'm guessing BNB against BTC, it's doing good, given the fact. Yeah, so BNB against BTC, it's up 2.2%. Catching some follow through from yesterday's bullish engulfing candle. Printing weak negative momentum and at around the 47 point level on the RSI. So that's pretty neutral for BNB against BTC. But look at this chat. Is this real? You tell me, because this looks somewhat of a confirmation low for BNB BTC. You have this low here, this massive wick to the downside from July 5th from that selling of BTC from Germany. Remember that Germany was selling coins, was selling BTC on July 4th, and BNB BTC had that massive sell-off with a large wick, and now buyers stepped in the last 2 days and are pushing this asset out of this zone and maybe going for a confirmation low here, down here. So that's interesting on BNB BTC, going for the highest daily candle close since July 23rd. Okay. Is it total? So total rejecting the 2.4, 2.5 trillion area here. This comes from the 2021 cycle. You'll see these two large inflection points. They've been regarded as resistance. This pink and purple areas, both as resistance and as support. And this cycle also has been somewhat of an inflection point. So you're failing to hold that level for the past 2 days. Also have, look at this chat. This the total market cap looks pretty similar to what Solana did yesterday, with a large bearish hammer with a bearish engulfing candle, and now catching follow through. So yeah, what you don't want to see, and I'll finish off with this because I have to go a little bit early today. I wish I could stay and do a proper lengthy stream, but I have some stuff to do today. What you don't want to see is this whole thing turn out to be just another lower high. And my bias is that it's not, because the monthly looks really good, and high time frame candles such as the 3-month and the 6-month also look great on BTC. But if this starts to look like, if this starts to get confirmed as a potential lower high regarding this previous two highs, then there will be an argument for market participants. Then this structure looks like distribution, 3 falling peaks pattern here, where you have 2 lower highs regarding the first high, and you have a lower low regarding this low. It's where you start talking about a potential distribution. So that's not what you want to see here. So that's like the same with BTC. It's maybe what's making everyone scared, but I hope we don't go for that argument, and that we stay bullish. Ultimately, I think the key to it, and the secret maybe my lay ahead on USDT dominance, what's been doing here against the 200 simple moving average at the bottom here of this range, and potentially forming a reversal pattern, this potentially inverse head and shoulders. If this just fails to play out on the short term, you do something like that, or maybe you break out then like that, or you break out and have an underperformance, then I think market's just gonna go full on risk on. But if you actually get a breakout and just start slowly grinding up, then you'll get the argument for what we were saying on total and on BTC. So just a lot of indecision in the market. It's been really hard to read. In all honesty, it's like one day you're bullish, the other day it's like, oh, you got to be cautious. But going into the FOMC tomorrow and seeing what we're doing, rejecting this key inflection point, I'm pretty much flat on my perspective, and I would like to reclaim 67.5 and 69K in order to get really excited again. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Timo, for interacting in the chat and asking questions. I really appreciate them. I'll be going live tomorrow to discuss the FOMC meeting and the monthly candle close. It'll be a full-on lengthy stream. I'll be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern time, just of where I'm finishing now. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys be safe.